Express yourself through art and show the world your heart. Express yourself through art and show the world your heart. You're in the know with Esther and Larry. Art on the air today. Stay in the know with Larry and Esther. Art on the air our way. Express yourself through art and show the world your heart. Express yourself through art. Express yourself through art and show the world your heart. Express yourself through art.
And welcome. You're listening to Art on the Air on WVLP 103.1 FM. And it's our weekly program covering the arts and arts events in Valparaiso and throughout Northwest Indiana. I'm Larry Brechner from New Perspectives Photography, alongside here with Esther Golden of The Nest in Michigan City. We're your hosts for Art on the Air. Our 2018 underwriters for Art on the Air are Valparaiso University's Brauer Museum and our landlord, Walt Brechner. If you'd like to find out more about leasing space in this historic building, what we call our studio, please call 219-462-5821. That's 219-462-5821. And we thank both of them for their generous support. We also like to thank Greg Kovach, WVLP station manager, engineer for our show. And also, if you're interested in being a guest or sending us information about your arts-related event, or exhibit, or appear as an artist, please email us at artontheairwvlp@gmail.com. That's artontheairwvlp@gmail.com. This program will be rebroadcast on Monday at 5 p.m. and it's also streaming live at wvlp.org. By the way, we'd like to remind you, though, our campaign for the community campaign to support the station is actually over. We'd be more than happy to have underwriters. Esther and I would invite you to maybe support this program if you are especially art interested, or if you want to support the station as a whole. You can find out more information about that at wvlp.org/support. And support in various levels, contributions. If you would like to be an underwriter, we have different ways to mention you for different times. We won't go to all the details, but you can find out that information. So we don't want you to just be a WVLP listener. Become a supporter and underwriter in whatever amount you are able to give. And I always like to say, don't give till it hurts, give till it feels good. And join the WVLP family today. So anyway, now we're going to go to the arts event calendar. We'll start with Porter County. And by the way, today announced was the 61st nominations for the Grammy Awards. So if you ever want to find out about that, go to Grammy.com. And I have a little vested interest in that as a voting member for the Academy. I've been there since the 1980s, so it's kind of fun. Different context now. So, but anyway, we're going to move on to Porter County and Valparaiso University Center for Arts Brauer Museum, continuing through November 9th. So it's almost ready to go out there. The photography of David Robert Austin. We ended up in Australia. Dreams Imagined is based on a true story. Asher Yates is still in the Strimview Gallery on the second floor, and this is part of a larger veterans exhibit going on there. Krista Steinke is still in place there. Good Luck with the Sun, along with other works. At the Ellen Firmer Gallery, that's on US 12 in Beverly Shores. Holly Jackson from Chesterton is going to be December through the end of January. Her exhibit will have a whole selection of her paintings from 2018, and she's going to have an opening reception on Friday, December 7th from 5 to 8 p.m. So Holly's work has a strong connection to the very abstract, and so you can go there and meet her in person. The Village Gallery at Pines Village continues with their program with the junior exhibition. They'll be on display from December 9th through January 17th. Will be Lori Shimmer Carpenter, and she'll be an oil artist, and she'll be there at the Village Gallery at Pines Village. Chesterton Art Center, December exhibit is the Duneland Plein Air member exhibit, and that will be running all of December through the 24th. And they already had their artist reception, so if you want to go see there, it's 115 South 4th Street in Chesterton. Also, the Chesterton Art Center offers a wide variety of classes for kids and adults. You can contact them at chestertonart.com or go to their Facebook page. Uptown Cafe in Valparaiso, they continue the work with artist Liz Werfel, and you can see that through December. She's a local artist. Art Barn. They'll be doing a one-man adaptation with Grant Fitch, a local actor, of A Christmas Carol, where he plays all the roles. So it's kind of fun. Adult price is $10, $5, so that's December 15th, 7 to 9 p.m. So you can see the whole adaptation of A Christmas Carol done by a one-man show. Memorial Opera House Foundation and the Limelight Youth Theater together present hashtag MOH Mistletoe. Saturday, December 15th. From noon, they have a cookie walk. The performance starts at 1 o'clock. And then later on December 19th, Memorial Opera House will sing their way through the Christmas season with a spectacular cabaret event. You find out information about that at their website, memorialoperahouse.com. And you can find out all about what's going on in Porter County. But now we're going to move to Ester's land of wonderful Michigan City and all of LaPorte County. Take it away.
Well, that certainly sounds like an exciting week over in Porter County. In LaPorte County, we have First Friday in the Uptown Arts District from 5 to 8 p.m., December 7th. Please come out for that. Lubeznik Center for the Arts, Waiting for a Sign exhibit, continues to explore the use of signage, text, and iconographic images and symbols in the work of 8 contemporary artists in the Hyman Brinke Cross and Susan Block galleries through January 12th. Also, Lubeznik is seeking contributions toward their Help Us Students Succeed campaign, Bring Art to the Underserved Kids in the Area. Southern Shore Art Association, their December holiday exhibit, The Gift of Art, continues through December. The gallery is located at 724 Franklin Street. For more information, visit the Southern Shore Art Association.com website or visit the SSAA Facebook page. SFC Gallery, Friday, December 7th from 5 to 8. They are hosting the Dig the Dunes calendar release party and reception. SFC will exhibit the winning photographer's work throughout December. And Larry Brechner, my Art on the Air co-host, has one of his images on the July page called Washington Park Dune Dusk, and he will be there to sign the July page for you. With bells
Sure
on,
will.
yes, yay. The Thaddeus C. Gallery, located in downtown LaPorte since 2004, is hosting Blue Christmas, its 14th annual holiday exhibition with a wide variety of work from Indiana-based artists as well as artists from Chicago, Milwaukee, New York, New Jersey, Vermont, and England will be on display. The exhibition runs through January 5th. Gallery hours 10 to 3 on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, and Saturdays. You can look for more information on ThaddeusC.com. Among the many included artists are Andrew Avera, Emily Christie, Richard Glass, Greg Hertzley, Laura Izard, David Ma, Laura Marmesh, Rob Platter, Pete Rayland, Linda Redmond, Valerie Taglieri, Tom Torlum, Christine Versus, Melissa Washburn, Janet Zug, and gallery owners Thaddeus and Laura Cutler. Blink Contemporary Art at 1709 Franklin Street, Michigan City is exhibiting their new works, paintings, drawings, and sculptures by artists Rick Lang and Suzanne Cohen-Lang. Also, the Movable Art Feast Holiday Pop-Up continues for First Friday, December 7th, from 5 to 7 p.m. there, and a variety of local artists will have their work available. Rising Phoenix Gallery at 2803 South Franklin Street, their December exhibit, Joy to the World, is a mixed media exhibition. Nest, located at 803 Franklin Street, will be exhibiting the abstract paintings of David Kreiner and the geometric paintings and sculpture of Margie Kreiner through December 16th. First Friday, December 7th, the Nest will host a mini version of the Movable Art Feast pop-up. In attendance will be Susan Atwell, Matt Werner, Brenda McKnight. Susan Atwell comes with her fibers, her scarves, and various other items. Matt Werner will have a vintage calendar, different themes of vintage Michigan City, and Brenda McKnight has her skirts and her one-of-a-kind hats. Plus, work from most of the art feasters will be in the gallery along with the unique one-of-a-kind nesting artists. Michigan City Toastmasters every first and third Monday of the month. Become a better communicator and leader with Toastmasters. Meditation Circle with Nikki Knopfs every Wednesday at 6:30. Ongoing piano lessons with Melissa Krause by appointment. You can see the Nest's Facebook page, The Nest Michigan City, for details. Now, last week we announced that beautiful snowflake parade, which was canceled due to weather. So it's repeating again this Saturday. And the North Pole is excited to announce that the Merchants of the Uptown Arts District will be helping Santa this year by doing the first check on his naughty and nice list. Participating merchants will be stamping letters to mark every boy's and girl's good behavior. Starting at 3 p.m. on Saturday, December 8th, children can claim some treats and paper to write their letters before Santa parades down Franklin Street. The more you visit, the more stamps you can acquire to show Santa how good you have been all year. Participating merchants include Hoity Toity, Paris House of Bridal, The Nest, Michigan City, Patina Vintage Goods, The Closet by Franklin Vintage and Chef Bizarro Millinery, Nest No. 4, Quality Beat, Midnight Owl Boutique, Beach Bum Jewels, Darling, and Monique's Home Decor, and more. And there'll be signs in the windows of the participating merchants. Then the Snowflake Parade in downtown Michigan City starts at 4 p.m. Central Standard, sponsored by the Michigan City Fire Department and the City of Michigan City. Santa arrives via fire truck and will receive visitors at the Michigan City Historical Santa House. And that's it for LaPorte County.
I wouldn't say that's it. That's tremendous. Oh my gosh!
Yay,
if you
parades!
If you can't find something to do, LaPorte County sure has it happening. So we'll move on to Lake County, Southern Shore Arts. They'd like to remind that their registration is now open for their winter session classes. Those classes begin on January 7th. Check their website, South Shore Art, or their Facebook page for details. They're still running Indie Windy, a love story, through January 29th with artists from Indiana and Chicago who are largely known for their large public artworks in new environments. It's curated by Ish Muhammad, so you can see that. He's well known at the Zao B Art Center in the Bridgeport community. Atrium Gallery still continues with Northwest Indiana Symphony Women's Society, the Festival of Trees, which are decorated by a whole wide variety, or sponsored by a whole wide variety of people. It's a great thing to do. You can also go there on Sunday and have a Sunday brunch. Crown Point Branch is still doing Mike Barrett Kowalski Wildscapes, and that exhibit will continue through January 5th. 119th Street Artists, the Oliver Brown exhibit, which just opened last week, juried exhibit at the Cornerstone Gallery. That's in the Centier Bank in Whiting, and they have details on their web page or Facebook page. The bank is open, by the way, Monday through Friday 9 to 5 or Saturday 9 to 12. So the gallery is open all those times. So it's a great, unlike a lot of studios that can only be open on the weekend, you can see the artwork anytime. Also in Whiting, Studio 659. It continues with their children's under 18 exhibit, and that will continue all the way through this month of December. And you can find out details at studio659.org. Indiana Ballet Theater is continuing their performances of the 21st annual Nutcracker for Northwest Indiana. This coming December 8th and 9th now, they'll be at Valparaiso High School. And then December 13th through 15th, they'll be at Indiana University Northwest. You can find out details at their Facebook page, Indiana Ballet Theater. That's theater with an R-E, the British spelling. Northwest Indiana Symphony Holiday Pops Concert is going to be on 2 dates. Since we no longer have the Star Plaza Theater, and I also saw that the Twin Towers are actually coming down now. Thursday, December 13th, they'll be at Monbeck Auditorium, my old stamping grounds from many years ago, at Highland High School at 7:30. And then on Friday, December 14th, they will move to the auditorium at Valparaiso High School at 7:30. So you can get information at the Symphony website. And Miller Beach Arts and Creative District. Kellen Fermi, who is well known throughout LaPorte and Porter County with their own gallery, he'll be on exhibit December through January 6th in the Marshall J. Gardner Center for Arts. There'll be an opening reception on Saturday, December 8th from 6 to 9. Kevin will have about 38 drawings, 28 sculptures on display. You can find out information on the Facebook page, Miller Beach Arts and Creative District, or Miller Beach Arts, all one.org, and you can find out more information about this. So that's what we got going in Lake County. And by the way, if you're interested in getting your information on the air so we can put it on in our weekly calendar, please contact us at WVLP, WVLP.org, but it's Art on the Air, WVLP at gmail.com. That's Art on the Air, WVLP at gmail.com, and we'll be happy to get your event on the air. Well, we have a very special guest today who is known to glacial rise from obscurity to international obscurity. Began at Front Porch Music and Mike in Valparaiso, has grown into a regular nerd rock singer, songwriter, superhero, battling the market forces since 2005, known in his secret identity as Dan Beamer. But here I'm pleased to present Captain Ambivalent.
Woo! Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Welcome, Captain Ambivalent and his golden accordion. So we're going to have a real fun time there. So we're going to talk to you a little bit both about your Captain Ambivalent and your secret identity and everything like that and how it came. So tell us a little bit about how Captain Ambivalent came into being.
Captain Ambivalent came into being. I like to write songs since I was, high school, middle school probably. And, after I got out of college, had to work a full-time job. It just got more and more frustrating to try to have some way to get the songs inside my head outside. And finally, in desperation, I picked up the accordion and started performing at the Front Porch Open Mic, and things kind of went from there.
So the accordion was just there, or did you seek it out?
Yeah, that's the short. I had a great aunt I played piano as a kid and took like 9 years of piano lessons. And I had a great aunt who had an accordion, and I don't think we ever got to hear her play it, maybe once, because she had arthritis and it was in her closet. But when she passed away, she gave me the accordion. I kind of did some stuff on it, but it wasn't really cool. It was the 80s, and like keyboards were in, so I wanted to get keyboards, and then I realized it's a lot harder if you want to sing your own songs to accompany yourself on the keyboard, because you have to haul it around, and it's big and has a stand, and if you don't have a car, and it's just a big pain. Whereas the accordion, you can just strap it on and look the audience in the eye and play away.
You can bring your whole accordion with you, and it's like bringing your whole orchestra with you,
Yep.
So you don't have to do anything. So that's how you got that. Now, where are you from originally?
Oh, let's see. I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, and moved up. I went to the University of Chicago for college and kind of stuck around Chicago. Moved to Ogden Dunes because it was easier to get a house there than it was in Chicago. And then moved to Valpo because when actually I moved to, I enjoyed Front Porch in Valpo when I still lived in Ogden Dunes, but then when I sort of retired from my day job and moved to Valpo as part of that because it's a great community and it's lower cost of living.
Well, that's true. And what did you study in college? Just it's like
boy.
Because I know my daughter has a music degree and is not doing anything with a music degree. So,
my major was a do-it-yourself major. My diploma actually says fundamentals: issues and texts.
And what is
hardcore humanities?
Okay.
It was a do-it-yourself major. You basically picked. You kind of structured it yourself with the help of an advisor around like 6 classic great books and supporting courses like in history for context and a little bit of criticism, and one of them had to be in a foreign language, and it was hardcore liberal arts is what I tell people.
That's okay.
It was, and so of course then I got a job in computers.
Oh, wow.
Of course.
Of course. Well, that makes sense.
Of course.
That's kind of like my daughter. She became a webmaster for a business. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and are you still doing that besides being in your identity as Captain Ambivalent?
No, I was. I've been very fortunate to be able to retire from that at the end of 2010, and just sail. I tell people now I do Captain Ambivalent full time. It's not exactly a full time job payment.
Okay. and describe the costume that you're wearing here in the studio. You have the cape and everything like that.
I got a sparkly cape, sparkly sequin belt with a logo belt buckle on it, and sparkly boots with 6-inch heels, and
we've got our sunglasses on,
right,
by the way.
It's so bright.
It is blinding. My accordion is sparkly as well. It's you have to make a visual impact on stage.
Well, of course. And then you got your cape, because every superhero, except for Spider-Man, almost has to have a cape, right?
Well, in spite of what the Incredibles, they say no capes because they get caught in jet engines and stuff
that's
when you're
true.
Flying. But I scoff at that. Yeah.
So your music is I know it's all original, but what was your inspiration for your music?
I think probably the biggest inspiration for thinking that it would be possible to be a singer-songwriter with an accordion is probably a group called They Might Be Giants. And then also, of course, Weird Al Yankovic. Although he doesn't really use the accordion as much as, he's known for it. But if you listen to he doesn't use it all that often in performance. But They Might Be Giants was a duo from kind of an alternative duo from New York. And they've just done a whole lot of stuff over the years with bringing new instrumentation to rock. I think they're kind of considered like a punk or alternative, but they're family friendly, and a lot of they have kids albums too. They're not entirely family friendly. They have concerts that are one or the other. I heard an interview with them on Fresh Air in the early 90s, I think, or 1990. And it was the first time I'd heard, I think they played, it was basically a rock song, but they had like a baritone sax and some trumpets and some really non-standard for rock instrumentation. It just kind of blew my mind.
Any other influences that you have, like inspiration from other artists? That made you put the cape on and go out and Captain Ambivalent?
Well, that kind of, yeah.
The evolution of that would be
right.
very
Yeah, well, so I started out just playing in sort of normal clothes with a sparkly gold accordion. And, the open mics at Front Porch, there'd be all these, a whole like row of guitar cases lined up on the side and then one accordion case. So I kind of stood out, but I don't know, pivotal moments in Louisville. It turned out after I'd been doing this for a few years, we discovered that my mom was friends with a comedy promoter in Louisville, Kentucky, I kind of went down and did a show so he could evaluate and do a little coaching. And his overall, he had lots of important and very useful things to say, but the overall message was sort of like, you need to go farther. Give people a reason to look at you on stage. Don't hold back, and you'll become more theatrical. And so that kind of prompted the costume and everything. And that's really, it's hard to imagine doing the act without the costume now. Because
it's so, you're so memorable. And first it's, of course the costume is so visual, but your lyrics are they just stay with you.
Yeah, the costume is to get people to pay attention long enough to hear the words. That's that's kind of...
Well, you're listening to Captain Ambivalent on WVLP 103.1 FM with Art on the Air. Maybe we should hear a sample so our audience knows exactly, because they can't see you through the microphone, but we can hear you.
That's true. Well, I'll give you a little bit of my theme song. Well, I'm sure I'm faster than something, and I'm probably stronger than something else. I can leap over other stuff in a single bound, but on the other hand, I could just walk around. You might call me Captain Ambivalent. You might call me Captain Ambivalent. You might call me Captain Ambivalent, and then again you might not. Then again you might not. Well, I heard you was kidnapped by the terror, and he swears he'll make you marry him tonight. I suppose I could go running off to rescue you, but you might grow to love him given time. You might call me Captain Ambivalent. You might call me Captain Ambivalent. You might call me Captain Ambivalent. I don't really care. I don't really care. I might have some special powers, then again maybe I don't. I might save you from yourself, then again maybe I won't. Though I find it hard to try, sometimes it's harder not to try. This song just might be over soon, I can't decide. You might call me Captain Ambivalent. You might call me Captain Ambivalent. You might call me Capitan Ambivalente. And then again you might not. I don't care, I can't decide, yeah. Captain Ambivalent, I don't care, I can't decide, yeah. Captain Ambivalent, I don't care, I can't decide. Captain Ambivalent, oh yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. That's our Captain Ambivalent here on Art in the Air on VLP 103.1 FM. Well, that was exciting. So that's your lead-in song. So.
That's my theme song. That was the first. That's the song I took my name from, and it was actually the first song I ever performed in public on the accordion.
Very good. Where do you get your inspiration for your songs?
Boy, it can come from all sorts of places. I've gotten some from inspiration from email exchanges with friends, offhand remarks. Sometimes I'll think of a topic that I really kind of want to write a song about and just think about it for a while. That came from wanting to write some kind of song about a superhero.
Okay.
And that just is what evolved. So yeah, all kinds of.
So where was the first place you performed then?
Let's see. Well, I'd say the first place was a party at my house.
The
actual public.
Yeah.
I think it was actually an open mic at the Art Barn. Was the very first.
Oh, how cool.
And then followed the I think that was a Tuesday night, and then I went to Front Porch Open Mic the Thursday night, and that was...
Because that's where I saw you. I saw you at an open mic at the Canterbury.
Oh, yeah?
And I
the
was
first
just
Friday.
so captivated that when I opened my gallery, you were like one of the first people I contacted to please come. And you turned me down.
I know, it's
saying,
so awful.
I don't think I'm ready.
Oh, no. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we've had some... I don't know when that was. That 2014, maybe.
It was like more than 3 years
more
ago.
Than 3 years
More
ago.
than 3 years
Possibly
ago.
turned down Ester. Come on. Look
Well,
at that.
I had to confess, I didn't realize it was Ester. I had the Facebook was Wham Gold, and for some reason, I did not connect that. So anyway, I abjectly apologize, and I'm going to do my best to make it up to you.
Yes, we are
in the near future.
Don't you have something coming up with him in the future at the Nest?
We do.
And
I'll
some-
let you talk about it.
Okay. Well, there's two things. The first one, Esther wanted to have a different kind of open mic that would feature just a real wide variety of different kinds of acts. So we're working on the final title. It's going to be something like Captain Ambivalent's Every Kind of Talent Show.
We wanted to have a vaudeville sort of feel to it.
And get some of the, over the years, occasionally I've seen people, like tap dancers show up or
ventriloquists, or
magicians.
Clog dancers.
Nose flute, whatever.
Yes. Whatever you are doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of music open mics in the area, and we're just looking to kind of push up the weird and the variety aspect.
And also all ages.
Yes.
So all you young talented people as well.
Exactly.
How would they find out about that? Maybe we should.
Yeah, we're working on the final details. We'll have an event page on the Nest, Michigan City, and on Captain Ambivalent's page. We're thinking of January 26th as the first Captain Ambivalent's Every Kind of Talent show. So look out for that on the Nest, Michigan City, and Captain Ambivalent's page.
Yeah, we think it should be a whole lot of fun.
It should be so much fun.
Yeah, we're just gonna let our hair down and get crazy. Don't worry if you think your act is too dumb.
Oh, bring it! Yeah,
Bring it
That's
on.
right. Bring it on.
So, Captain Ambivalent, where are some of the places other places you we talked about a couple places you performed. Where have you been seen at?
Oh golly, I have been a lot of the open mics around here in the area. In addition to the ones mentioned, the Acorn. I've been at Pierogi Fest in Whiting for a couple of years. It's sort of the alternative to polka on the polka stage, and then as part of the new costume and things, I started to get more theatrical with my shows, and so I started going around to a bunch of what are called fringe festivals. It's sort of festivals of alternative theater. So I'll package like a concert as a one-man show with like a sort of an overall plot and a little bit of storytelling wrapped in there. And I've done those in Fort Wayne and Indianapolis and Chicago, and Elgin, Illinois has been the most successful for some reason. There are just a lot of good nerdly people there who enjoyed it a lot.
Does the dinosaur come out in that?
It depends on the show. I have a 10-foot inflatable dinosaur, which sometimes comes out at usually during a climactic accordion solo, and that's so. There's a show that has him. I've been experimenting with multimedia and incorporating some kind of digital characters that I talk to and video clips. So in those shows, sometimes it's not just me and the accordion, but there'll be some backup tracks or just to like variety and interesting and weird and off the wall and funny. Leaving people gasping for air is kind of the goal.
Well, every superhero has an arch enemy. Does Captain Ambivalent have an arch enemy?
Yeah, not so much really. It's probably me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Captain Ambivalent is both is like his own arch enemy.
That could be the basis of a whole song, though.
Yes, that is true. That is true. I need to. Right. Well, what I did do a show once where there was a masked arch enemy, and it turned out to be me on the that was at Front Porch a few years ago. Yeah.
Now I see you had a cameo on America's Got
Yes,
Talent.
so
Tell us
that was
about
that was
how
my
did you get there?
my greatest brush with international obscurity. I had an uncredited cameo.
Okay.
So I've been seen around the world, but nobody knows who it is. So yeah, I got a call from one of their talent scouts who said, "Why didn't you come in to audition in Chicago?" They had these open auditions in Chicago, and I went in and did my thing, and then a separate person called and said, "Hey, we're also going to shoot this like just a fun color segment involving a dance-off to pump up the jam." And separately, and do you want to be part of that? And I said, sure. And so I got my accordion out. I learned Pump Up the Jam, the keyboard part on accordion, and so the audition. I didn't. They're cagey at the time, but it seemed like I wasn't really going anywhere with the audition. But the color segment of the Pump Up the Jam dance off, made it in, and it was in a regular show, and it was also in their anniversary episode.
Can you see that anywhere, like on YouTube or anything?
You know what? And it's kind of like gone. It's kind of. I got a couple of still pictures, but not the actual footage. And it's they never listed my name. We had the anniversary episode was sort of my favorite because they have it comes right after they have Piers Morgan saying, "My favorite thing about judging the show is you never knew what was going to happen next." And then it's me coming out with the gold cape and the accordion. And,
once again, deep in obscurity, right?
Yeah, that's right. International obscurity. That is. But it was a lot of fun. I made one of my one-man shows is kind of a career. It's kind of like a fake career retrospective that includes the thoughts about that show. And it was just an interesting experience to see so many thousands and thousands of people, all of whom had great talent, competing for the limited spots on that show. It just kind of blows your mind as to how much is out there.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Well, we're listening to Captain Ambivalent, Art on the Air, WVLP 103.1 FM, and I think we might be able to convince him to do another number for us.
Please.
All right. Let's see. Well, this is I'd say this is the third song I ever did live. This is one of my more popular ones. Here we go. It is a token of my undying affection. Baby, I would walk 1,000 miles for you. Baby, I would walk 1,000 miles for you. Baby, I would walk 1,000 miles for you. Baby, I would walk 1,000 miles for your love. But she called my bluff, she called my bluff. She did the math and it didn't add up. She called my bluff, she called my bluff. She called my bluff, she called my bluff, yeah. When I told you I would walk 1,000 miles, I didn't realize what I was getting into. I would have to run 100 miles an hour just to see you tonight. Now if you were in a westward time zone, I gain an hour back as I proceed. And maybe near the Arctic Circle, where time zones are closer between, then baby I would walk 100 miles for you. Baby I would walk 100 miles for you. Baby I would walk 100 miles for you. Baby I would walk 100 miles for your love. But she called my bluff, she called my bluff. She did the math and it didn't add up. And 4 miles an hour would take you 25. And oh yeah, you forgot the international date line. When I told you I would walk 100 miles, I didn't realize what I was getting into. I would have to run faster than a marathon to see you tonight. And frankly, I'm not big on walking. In fact, I'm kind of out of shape, and more than half a mile I'm driving. And frankly, your love ain't that great, but baby, I would walk 1/2 mile for you. Baby, I would walk 1/2 mile for you. Baby, I would walk 1/2 mile for you. Baby, I would walk 1/2 mile for your love. Baby, I would walk 1/2 mile. Hey, baby, I would walk 1/2 mile. Hey, baby, I would walk 1/2 mile for your love.
Oh, very, very good. That's excellent. That's Captain Ambivalent right here on Art on the Air, WVLP 103.1 FM. Well, most superheroes have a sidekick. Have you ever thought or toyed with the idea of having a sidekick besides your dinosaur?
I have a part-time sidekick. One of the other places I play is the Gen Con gaming convention in Indianapolis. It's started Dungeons and Dragons, and it started out as a Dungeons and Dragons convention way back when, and now it's like any kind of game tabletop role-playing computer, and I've been privileged to be an official hallway busker for the past 5 years or 6 years or so, and so I recently have acquired a sidekick. Her name is Misanthropic, and and she helps kind of like run, helps facilitate the busking and the selling of the CDs and merch, which is very important.
Of course.
And so that's my official.
And does she have a costume?
Oh yeah. You know what? I don't have a picture. There's a picture on my website. I don't have one.
Oh, can you describe it to us?
Show you. But yeah, it's kind of it's like a blue skirt and leggings and the same kind of belt buckle that I have, and no mask. She has glasses, but I guess that's sort of a mask. That's as much of a mask as those little classic superhero ones that no one can tell your identity with. So that's
that's your sidekick.
That is my sidekick, and that's a fun place to play. And
now you mentioned merchandise, so
Yep.
if you have, and we are a community radio station, we're not selling, but maybe people are interested in getting. You have CDs and other types of things. Well, tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, I have CDs and buttons and T-shirts, and I also, due to some classic. It's a bad judgment calls on my part. I have also fanny packs and glasses straps.
And those are discounted right now, probably.
I've sold, yes, less than a handful. No. They become kind of
Are
hip.
they gold and sparkly?
Well, no, that's part of. I guess that's part of the
see,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
They need some glitter.
Yeah, the glasses straps are kind of silver, but they don't really sparkle. And
Yeah, stop by the craft store and you maybe can glitter them up a
oh,
little
maybe
bit.
yeah.
There we
We'll
go.
have to bedazzle them. Yeah, that might help. That really might help. I don't know.
And so, how many do you have? Several albums?
Yeah. So let's see. I did my first album. It's called Fear the Accordion. At the end of basically, that kind of helped precipitate my decision to quit the day job or retire from the day job, because it was just the business culture in Chicago is so 24/7 that it was just an uphill battle trying to get any kind of music done, and it just got to the point where I was just never going to get this album done unless I did something drastic. So that was then, and then I think 2014 I had a second one called Pirate Ninja Zombie, and
Covering all those bases.
Yeah, that's right, because that's there's a song on there about being about the romantic appeal of the Pirate Ninja Zombie, and then last year for the Gen Con's 50th anniversary, I did a shorter EP called Save the Orcs, which had some even more geeky than usual songs on it.
Geeky can be good.
It's totally good. There's some Star Wars and D&D songs, and still approachable, I think. But maybe.
Maybe we need to have one of those on the show today, though.
All
think you can get us one of those from Save the Orcs?
Yeah.
Okay, Captain Ambivalent's going to do something from his 2017 EP of Save the Orcs. What's the song?
Let's see. I think it'll be Going Back to Town. It's for anyone who's ever played a kind of role-playing game on the computer. I see you are adventurers, the tavern keeper said. I heard about a crypt nearby infested with undead. Me friends and I, we sallied forth to take a look around. And mighty quick our butts were kicked, we're going back to town. We're going back to town, boys, we're going back to town. Our magic spent, our armor rent, and half the party's down. We're going back to town, boys, we're going back to town. 'Cause past the gate the fallen wait, and all our wounds are bound. It's good to see you back again, the tavern keeper cried. I heard about a haunted tomb out in the countryside. So my friends and I, we sallied forth to take a look around. The level boss killed all of us, and now we're back in town. Now we're back in town, boys, and now we're back in town. We'll raise a cup and level up and track our killers down. Now we're back in town, boys, now we're back in town. It's past the gate the fallen wait, and all our wounds are bound. So we asked the tavern keeper, what's the difference between the tomb and the crypt? And he said, remains to be seen. Oh, lovely tavern keeper, keep your rumors to yourself. Just stepping in and out of town, we'll stay in perfect health. Why bother sally forth when we can never really leave? We'll stay right here and drink your beer for all eternity. Oh, we're staying here in town, boys, we're staying here in town. We're kind of like undead ourselves, so pour another round. We're staying here in town, boys, we're staying here in town. Just past the gate, the fallen wait, and all our wounds are bound.
Very nice. Captain Ambivalent. Are you a D&D player, or were you ever a D&D player?
Oh, yeah.
That's Dungeons & Dragons,
Yep.
for those who don't know.
And I was the dungeon master for my group of high school friends, and played some in college, and don't do it don't really have time to do it as much now, it seems like. But they're definitely my people.
So you must have really been excited when the Lord of the Rings came out as a motion picture.
Oh yeah, well yeah, we could,
even though it's slightly different, but
we can go into to great detail about that, but no, it was exciting. It was a lot more kind of over the top than the impression that I had from reading the books, I guess I would say.
Right.
But it was neat. I'll tell you though that it is amazing to me now. When I was growing up, all those things were very kind of fringe culture elements, and it is just amazing to me now how mainstream, like the kind of D&D and superhero stuff, and the comic books and all the stuff that you grew up with, just to see it kind of take over pop culture has been astounding.
Yes, it has.
I agree with that.
I mean, when I was growing up, it was very stereotypical that girls were not interested in superheroes or D&D, and now it is very much an equal everybody interested.
Well, I think in the superhero genre, we're now seeing, and not quite a Me Too thing, but we've seen strong women being portrayed as superheroes.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the older ones like Supergirl, it still was sort of a girly, not quite the same thing, but now you see them be throughout the genre being. Yeah,
and I mean, they're still. It took them a long time, especially in the Marvel movies. They're only just next year getting to one that's a headliner. But yeah, I think it's overall it's encouraging. Yeah.
Very good. We're talking to Captain Ambivalent here on Art on the Air, WVLP 103.1 FM. And by the way, if you're just tuned in or just hearing us online, you can hear the entire broadcast on Monday at 5 o'clock, and you can hear all the things with the wonderful things. And we might squeeze another tune or so out of you.
Okay.
So what do you have in the future to do?
Well,
plans.
Of course, the Every Kind of Talent show, as we mentioned, coming up in the Nest.
And we should also mention that includes poets and storytellers.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah.
So so that's the next thing coming up. Then after that, I'll do a one-man show called Fear the Accordion at the Nest, and
that's February 9th.
That's February 9th, and then I'll be doing that same show at a theater in Waukegan a little bit later in February. So those are the
short-term.
Those are the big things on the short term, and working on another album. It's about time for. I'm kind of torn between a slightly more punkish sound and more of like a big band swing sound. Mm-hmm. But
I like both of those ideas.
Yeah, you got
maybe I'll do one of each. Maybe I'll do one of each. Yeah, to ensure that I continue to remain to defy traditional market forces. And,
exactly.
Genres.
Now, where do you record at? Do you?
My house.
That's
yeah.
I mean, I ran a 4-track recording studio in the 70s into the 80s. So,
yeah.
But that going back to recording in small places, the large studios, you don't really need, especially your kind of thing. You could really do a very simple recording and come out with great stuff.
That's hopefully that is my goal, and that's what I hope has happened. For me, it comes down to once I have the initial investment in gear, which I did while I was still gainfully employed in Chicago, but I can kind of ride on that. And then the costs of recording and releasing each album are relatively small, so it makes a whole lot of sense. And then I can take as long as I need to try to get the sound right. Of course, I'm learning as I go, so it's probably I'm always trying to improve and learn new stuff.
You're thinking of adding a video content to it, like like putting your shows on a DVD, Blu-ray type thing eventually.
Yeah, that I would like to. That's another thing that seems to cost a lot of money to get something decent.
Right.
So I've been trying to figure out how to get that done, and I just haven't been able to yet.
We're working on that well in the nest to have quality video.
Yeah, it's just because it seems to be really important, and everybody, it's the things on YouTube that go viral, and it's just it's just kind of a challenge. It's a whole other skill set, and kind of need a collaborator for that, I think, and just haven't found.
Well, if you can find someone in college that's studying video production, it's,
right, and exploit them.
Well, no, but they can become your partner in crime fighting here. And,
that would be great.
But seriously, I mean, if you can edit so simply, you can get even like a Premiere Elements and things like that.
The editing I'm all set up to do. I've done some video editing just on my iPad for heaven's sakes now. But it's actually the shooting the raw footage.
Yeah.
That seems to be the hurdle.
You need to, if you're going to, to do quality, you need to take it somewhere beyond like the camera phone.
Right, exactly.
Because I always tell people that, when as a photographer, mine has 18 megapixels. And I said, well, your sensor's about the size of my small fingernail.
Right.
But
and lighting and being able, and frankly, it's a lot easier to use your ears to listen to what you record afterwards. But it's hard. You can't watch yourself while you're filming yourself.
Right.
And that's. And make it and have anything good come out of it.
So long term, we talked about some short term projects you have. What long term you see for Captain Ambivalent?
I'm just so I just feel so fortunate and blessed to be able to do what I'm doing, and there are always like new twists and turns come up, different kinds of places to perform, different people to collaborate with. I've toyed with the idea if I ever met like a couple of good people to form a band with. Sometimes I think that would be good to have be able to offer a full band performance. But really the main thing is the lyrics. So far it just hasn't seemed to be.
So develop some sidekicks, Captain Ambivalent and the Ambivalents or something.
Well, they would definitely have to wear costumes in the band, and I would need like a drummer and ideally a tuba player. But I mean.
So, do you do your graphics?
I do.
They're really nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just happen to have the right kind of balance of interests and talents.
It's actually memorable.
Yeah. My dad has a lot of the similar, predilections, and I took a drafting class in high school. Not to date myself, but it was a pre-computer drafting class where we had like pen and ink and T-squares and stuff, and just that kind of and did I think layout on the high school newspaper, and just those kind of just that little experience that kind of brought into the designs. I can sort of craft my own brand and look, and it's distinctive, and again then I don't have to pay other people to do it. And, oh well, distinctive and cheap. This is the glamorous life of an accordion playing superhero.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you don't want to fall into obscurity, so you have to do all these things yourself. Yeah.
Well, or into severe obscurity. I don't know what's below obscurity. Oblivion. There we go.
Oblivion.
That's right. Obscurity's fine. Oblivion, not so much.
Well, yes. Captain Ambivalent and the Oblivions.
Oh dear.
There we go.
That might be the goth band version. I don't know. No.
I think you got to give Esther if you use that.
There we go.
Send her a check.
I do. Well, I give out Muse credits for certain songs on albums. If people inspire by their comments or something, I'll give it Muse credits. They're highly coveted.
Well, I think we're ready for another song from Captain Ambivalent. What would you like to do? I mean, we're trying to hear a variety of what you've done. So.
I could do the Pirate Ninja Zombie song since we just about
that would be fun.
Yeah, it's a slower one, but
we're ready to slow it down.
We can. Everybody's frantically out there. We need to relax a little.
And here we have again Captain Ambivalent.
If I were a pirate, I would carry off your heart, swing down from the rigging with my parrot saying R. You must admit a pirate ship is cooler than a car, and if I were a pirate, you would love me. 'Cause if I were a pirate, I would know just what to do. I would take you to an island far across the ocean blue. I would lock you in a secret cave, then I'd kill my crew. Oh, if I were a pirate, I'd love you. If I were a ninja, I would steal away your heart. Silently I'd strike out from the shadows in the dark. You wouldn't notice it was gone until you saw my mark. And if I were a ninja, you would love me. 'Cause if I were a ninja, I would know just what to do. I would sweep you off your feet with all my special ninja moves. All the secret ones you read about in Ninja FAQs. Oh, if I were a ninja, I'd love you. If I were a zombie, I'd refuse to eat your heart. Brains or spleen or pancreas or any other part. I'd be there for you when you broke down by some deserted farm. And if I were a zombie, you would love me. 'Cause if I were a zombie, I would know just what to do. I would rise up from my shallow grave beneath the toxic goo. I would bite you just enough that you could be a zombie too. Oh, if I were a zombie, I'd love you. But if I were a pirate ninja zombie, that'd be best. I would blow your mind with the combined advantages. The ride, the moves, the hickeys, baby, how could you resist? Oh, if I were a pirate ninja zombie. 'Cause if I were a pirate ninja zombie, I would rule. I'd be sitting high atop the pinnacle of cool. I'd be all over the internet, all the talk shows too. Oh, if I were a pirate ninja zombie. If I were a pirate ninja zombie.
You're just so amazing. Your
That's excellent.
Thank you.
That's our, if you're just tuned in by chance, that's Captain Ambivalent, Art on the Air, WVLP 103.1 FM, and it's really something. It's Ester brought you to our attention, and I had not heard of you before, but then they started researching for the show, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a thrilling hour. We could probably do 2 hours easily.
Oh, thank you.
So, short term, what do you have coming up? Where can people come and see you right now, like within the next week or so, or during the holiday season?
I try to, short term. I don't know. I think definitely I show up at the Front Porch Open Mic. I used to be there every week regularly, and it's gotten less and less as time has gone on. I feel kind of bad about that, but that's a place I recommend people go on Thursday nights. And that's probably the most where you'd have the biggest chance of seeing me before the Nest, before the talent show at the Nest coming up.
Of course, if somebody wanted to book you for a party event,
absolutely,
or something like that, how would they do that?
They would get in touch with me. You can do it on my website, CaptainAmbivalent.com. I have a contact form. Also, Facebook. You can send me a message from my Facebook page, or even from my not so secret identity page, Dan Beamer. But I encourage you to sign up for my Facebook page and like it, because that would be really helpful. It's just Facebook/Captain Ambivalent.
That's very simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just don't want your secret identity as Dan Beamer to get out there too much.
Well,
it's
it's kind of
out. Clark Kent.
Yeah, it's kind of out there, but I answer to Captain. Most people just call me Captain Ambivalent.
So at some point, do you think you might get promoted to Major or Lieutenant Colonel?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Or are you a Captain of the Navy, which means the next one's Admiral? So.
Ooh, Admiral Ambivalent. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's alliterative, but maybe not quite the same.
Not quite the same.
Not quite the same. I think I'm stuck at. I've hit the glass ceiling.
Is there something you're working on, like a song that you're just kind of doing right now that we might get a preview of that you haven't quite worked out? So we be the first ones to break the grounds? Or do you have anything?
Well, it's secret. Just
well,
like a secret identity.
A secret identity.
A secret. I can play you. I'll play you one that's popular that hasn't been recorded yet. How about?
Well, that's fine.
I've played it. I don't think I have anything that I could.
You're not really not in process right now.
That's that's like in process enough that I could play it
Perform
with
it.
that.
I understand.
Very good. Okay, let's see.
This is not been recorded. Captain Ambivalent is going to give us one of them that's not been recorded.
If you start to give up on hope in your heart, as the world is cold and it's dark, and you're feeling so all alone, people leave you and deceive you, they'll mistreat you and defeat you. There's one thing you should know, will always be there. Student debt is there for you. Student debt will follow you. Student debt is always by your side. Student debt will care for you. Student debt will not forget. Student debt will always call and text. Student debt. Well, it's fine, you're a bit subprime if you sign. On the dotted line, you'll be mine. Till the end of time, student debt, in your hour of need, it will still be there. After bankruptcy, it will still be there. When you're 63, it will still be there. Student debt is there for you. Student debt will follow you. Student debt is always by your side. Student debt will care for you. Student debt will not forget. Student debt will always call and text. Student debt.
Boy, that's a personal song, isn't it?
I think almost everyone can identify with that.
It is. I played that at VU for a special event last Sunday.
Yes. Student debt. I think I finally erased my daughter's student debt by rolling into a mortgage or something like that.
Oh, boy.
Paying almost 8% interest. This is crazy. So we're wrapping up here, and we're going to have you play us out when we get ready. But
okay.
Is there anything that we don't want that we don't know, that no one's talked? You're something super secret about Captain Ambivalent we don't know that we'd like to know?
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's a big question.
That's a big
Yeah,
question.
I don't know. I can't think. I think I pretty much talked about everything.
Everything?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I guess like overall, I mean, I've been traveling around a lot, and I'm looking to perform a little bit closer to Valpo and to be a little bit more active in the coming year. I guess last year my mom passed away, and I was performing a little bit less. But I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to wrap this up with a song. Just we'd like to say before that you've been listening to Art on the Air, and like to thank our guest, Captain Ambivalent, our secret
you.
identity. Art on the Air is heard every Friday at 11 a.m., rebroadcast on Monday at 5 p.m. We're at Larry Brechner with Esther Golden. Thanks again to Greg Kovach, WVLP station
you,
manager
Greg.
and engineer. We appreciate him. And again, if you have any events, Art on the Air, WVLP@gmail.com. Next week, our guest is going to be Donna Catalano from South Shore Arts, and she actually will talk about Indiana Arts Commission grants. And so if you're artists out there looking to get information on how to apply for the grant process and all the other things going on at South Shore Arts, she's a great one to do that.
Valuable information.
Valuable information for artists. So we see you right here, 103.1 FM, Art on the Air, on Fridays at 11 p.m. And now we're going to play out with Captain Ambivalent.
All right, I think that was everything. This is a cover of a song called Everything. When you've heard it, you can say you've heard everything. When I'm done, then I can say I've done everything, though everything has all been done before. So if you're wondering if you can hear everything, you're in luck, because I think I know everything. So if you look at me and say you want everything, I'll look right back and give you everything. Was it everything you hoped for? Was it everything you need? When this is over, I'll have given you everything.